The Channel Islands. A group of islands located off the coast of France are home to an array of wildlife. Bottlenose dolphins, buff-tailed bumblebees, and bobtail squid are just a few of the species that call these isles home. Even though islands only make up 6.7% of the Earth's surface, we find more than 20% of all animal and plant life here. This means, worldwide, islands are areas of significant natural importance. They drive biodiversity. This biodiversity is thanks to a myriad of living, breathing habitats. From rugged coastal cliffs to secret underwater oases, when given the chance, life thrives here. But like everywhere, there are challenges. People are putting constant grinding pressure on habitats and the ecosystems they support. This film focuses on the life teeming beneath the ocean waves and the unsung heroes working in conservation. We invite you to open your eyes. There's a world of wildlife waiting to be seen. Join us as we dive into the blue. Welcome to our wild islands. Thousands of species call our shores and seas home. The wide range of marine habitats do a lot of the heavy lifting in supporting diverse coastal ecosystems. You have probably sailed or swum over many of our marine habitats, but you might just have missed the treasure trove of life beneath you. Kelp and merle are both habitat-forming species. They provide safe nursery grounds, shelter, and a source of nourishment for smaller fish and crustaceans. However, there is one unique plant among the heroes of the coastal underwater world: seagrass. Like kelp and merle, seagrass meadows create an oxygen-rich environment and safe haven for life to flourish. As seagrass is the only terrestrial plant that has evolved to live in the sea, it has a secret weapon that sets it apart from all other marine plants: rhizomes. These appear as layers of horizontally travelling stems that lie just below the sandy sea floor. This thick blanket holds in much of the sediment below, keeping the water crystal clear around the seagrass. The locking in of sediment can drastically reduce the effects of coastal erosion too. The Channel Islands have 2 species of seagrass: common eelgrass, Zostera marina, and dwarf eelgrass, Zostera knolti. The latter is only found on the west coast of Herm and Jetty. In recent years, we have started to understand much more about our eelgrass beds, thanks to research projects taking place across the Channel Islands. Jersey Marine Conservation is assessing the state of their eelgrass beds through a combination of aerial and submarine research. The Bailiwick Eelgrass Exploration Project, or BEEP, is mapping and recording data from eelgrass beds across Alderney, Guernsey and Herm. BEEP is using an effective method of citizen science. Volunteers recording where they see eelgrass and then reporting it to BEEP for the sites to be confirmed and monitored. Dr. Mel Broadhurst Allen is the lead scientist for BEEP and a marine biologist working for the Alderney Wildlife Trust.
And the idea really is to get a sense of where eelgrass is around the bailiwick. So it's where it is it, are they dense beds, what's living within those beds, and are any of them impacted in such a way that we could potentially help reduce impacts and make this wonderful and valuable marine habitat work efficiently in the bailiwick. And not just that, it's the abundance of life that's within this eelgrass beds. There are even endemic seaweeds that attach to the blades of the eelgrass, as well as these blades are sites for invertebrates to lay their eggs.
Even though we have shown you seagrass meadows that are thriving and healthy, they are not all as lucky. There are many threats to this habitat. Setting anchors or lobster pots in seagrass can tear up the beds. When dislodged, sediment is released too, turning crystal clear water into a murky quagmire. Surface runoff of fertilisers can cause large algal blooms on the seagrass blades. Some of these algae smother and suffocate the seagrass, causing partial or complete meadow death. While you can snorkel over seagrass during the day and even walk over the beds on a low spring tide, it's when the sun sets that you see the real magic. By day, they often have other larger visitors. On the boat to Herm and Sark, you're always encouraged to keep an eye on the water for one of the world's most numerous and intelligent marine mammals. Terpsios truncatus. The bottlenose dolphin. From recent studies, we know they are mostly sighted in the Little Russell. And around Herm. Bottlenose dolphins can be spotted launching themselves into the air from the large rolling wake from bigger boats. They do this for the same reasons humans would if they could swim at 25 miles an hour. 'Cause it's fun. These incredibly curious and playful mammals love to play in the bow wake of smaller boats. As you're staring at them trying to figure them out, they're doing exactly the same. Just like humans, the young are often the most curious and fearless. Here you can see a juvenile swimming up to the research boat and investigating before swimming off to rejoin their pod. Dolphins live mainly in matriarchal groups. The grandmothers, mothers and children will swim closely together, stacked one above the other, with the oldest at the top. The recent increase in dolphin sightings over the last few years led to the creation of the Dolphin Project, dedicated to identifying individual dolphins through the unique shape and scarring on their dorsal fins. We followed marine biologist Zuzana Soltysiak as she worked alongside the Dolphin Project for her graduate fieldwork. Zuzana was researching the spatial and temporal distribution of bottlenose dolphins in the bailiwick of Guernsey.
We go out and we look out for dolphins with binoculars. We jot down every 15 minutes the coordinates of where we are, what the sea state is like, any swell, if there's any boats around, to see what kind of activity there is and whether that has an impact on whether we see dolphins or not. We also have shore-based observations where we stand at a point. We have 4 points across the island for the study, and each point we try to survey once a week in the morning and in the evening to see if we saw anything. Because historically the sightings have been concentrated to the east of the island, so we've distributed our sightings around the whole island to see if there are any on the west or any on the southwest. So bottlenose dolphins as a whole species are like the most studied dolphin. They are all over the world in tropical and temperate oceans, and there are about 467 in captivity in the US alone, and it's used for public display and research. So considering that, we understand things about them, but there's still so much that we don't understand. We don't understand how they express their emotions, how they communicate with one another, and there's still so much to learn about the species.
Globally, dolphins face many threats from human encroachment. PCBs and industrial runoff, noise pollution and boat strikes. Although our waters offer sanctuary, these are highly mobile creatures, and what happens outside our waters has a direct impact. Marine users have more than just bottlenose dolphins to consider. Risso's dolphins can be found travelling through our waters during the summer months. Found in significantly smaller pods, these slower moving dolphins have a much rounder face, reminiscent of pilot whales. If you venture just a few nautical miles off our coasts, you may find yourself surrounded by large pods of common dolphins. These close relations of bottlenose dolphins are recognisable by their white bellies and the creamy yellow hourglass shape down the length of their bodies. Common dolphins, much shyer than bottlenose, reside further offshore, where they play in the big rolling swell, hunting large shoals of fish passing by. But they are not alone in their hunt. Recent years have seen the return of vast schools of Atlantic bluefin tuna, Thunus thynus. As our oceans warm, fish must adapt and chase the conditions that most suit them, which are slowly running out. Shoals of baitfish move into our waters. When tuna spot these fish, they encircle them. The hunt is on. These incredibly nimble fish have the appearance of torpedoes as they rocket through the water at over 40 miles an hour. They compress the shoal of fish to the highest density they can achieve. The tuna take turns launching themselves across the circle, catching as many baitfish as they can in this short burst. The sea boils in a perfect circle as we look on from above the water. In the 70s, demand and prices for tuna soared worldwide. The commercial fishing industry found new, more effective ways of catching tuna. As a result, tuna populations have declined by 90% since the 1950s. In recent years, international conservation efforts have led to a curb in commercial take. Nevertheless, it is likely that illegal fishing has kept the Atlantic bluefin tuna at the brink of extinction. We've barely scratched the surface of our remarkable marine life. Just off our shores, there are thousands of species keeping our world alive and allowing us to thrive. Conservation creates a crucial link between people and wildlife. It helps us educate and understand, nurture and cherish. We hope this film has opened your minds. These wild inhabitants of our islands were here long before us. We hope they will be here long after.